Hello and welcome to the How to Travel Vegan podcast. I'm your host, Tom Simak, and today we're interviewing Dim Kailaris. All right, welcome everyone to today's show. I'm really excited to talk to Dim, but first, as I'm recording this, there's a lot of protests going on really around the world, mainly in the US, but a lot in Australia as well, and who knows where else about this Black Rights Movement with George Floyd. And the only thing I really have to say about that is I hope everyone is safe. I've seen some images of some people getting pretty hurt with the protests, with like rubber bullets and in the riots and all of that. So regardless of the political stance anyone takes, please be safe. And hopefully at the end of all of this, we'll come out on top with some justice. But on the topic of activists, Dim is a prolific vegan activist doing amazing things. He's even got his body tattooed with the word vegan across his stomach, which is amazing. Dim runs Sacred Scribble, which is a stencil company that ships basically anywhere that your country will let something be received by the post, where you can actually graffiti up on posters or on graffiti alleyways, actual vegan messages, whether it's watch the minion or just different vegan phrases. So today I'm really excited to get into the midst of activism and what we can do as individuals to really make an impact for the environment, for our health and for the animals. But we're also going to touch on a lot with yoga, meditation, and aligning ourselves with the value, and also not associating the word veganism with our identity in a negative way, and different ways that you can do that. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Hey, Dim, welcome to the How to Travel Vegan podcast. How are you going, mate?
Dude, I'm doing great. How you going, man?
So good. I love how you just start everything with a smile. It just like whoosh, this straight light and laugh, and it's so amazing. And it's really good to see, especially in the COVID times. So happy days. To give us all a crack at you at the beginning, can you give us a quick 1 minute on maybe why you're vegan and what you're currently doing?
Yeah, cool. So I went vegan probably about 6 years ago. I watched slaughterhouse footage, and I was a massive meat eater coming from a Greek background. Meat, dairy, and eggs were in every dish. And then, the next day after I'd watched slaughterhouse footage, I was eating leftover chicken at work, and I made that connection. I was like, holy fuck, I'm eating someone. I'm eating an animal right now. And that's where it clicked for me. And I had to really question myself and say, well, if we don't need to eat animals to survive, why are we doing it then? And it pretty much came down to taste pleasure. And then I just had to come to realization that, my taste pleasure isn't worth an animal suffering over. And so being vegan just became a no-brainer for me. And I've been doing activism ever since. I think it was about a month after being vegan, I just got straight into the activism because I woke up to this reality that there was just so much suffering happening to animals when there didn't need to be. And so I've just been, spreading a vegan message ever since.
What drew you to watch the slaughter? Because 6 years ago, it wasn't as accessible as it is now. I think Earthlings was available, and I think
That's what I watched.
That's what you watched, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So my ex-wife, her sister was vegan, and I remember cooking chicken in the kitchen, and she's like, "Oh, do you know where that chicken came from?" And I was like, "Oh, it's chicken breast. It's clean meats. It's blah blah blah." I was,
Yeah.
gym freak back
excuse.
then. Yeah. And so I ended up watching. She got me to watch Earthlings, and mate, that turned my world upside down. I had no excuses. I looked at it, and then I could see she was living proof that you could be vegan and be healthy and happy. And she was into yoga and stuff as well. And I don't know, it was just a overnight thing. Like I went vegetarian, but then I was still having dairy, and I was still consuming dairy products for probably about a month, I think, after that. And then I went completely vegan.
Right. I think it's really interesting how she didn't really do too much. She just planted the seed of a thought of, hey, do you even know where that comes from? And for a lot of us, we don't think about that.
Exactly,
So
man.
props to her, because through her, she's made you vegan. You've now talked to hundreds, if not thousands of people and helped them make the transition as well. So it's just one person can really make a huge impact. So that really breaks
Yeah.
that stereotype straight out the game.
Yeah, like people think, oh, I can't make any change or whatever, but you can literally help one person go vegan. And they might have a massive platform, and overnight you've helped thousands of people go vegan. Even if you're just helping one person, one person being vegan for a year, depending on how many animals they eat, you could save hundreds of lives, if not thousands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think being active and spreading a vegan message is so important, but you don't need to push it and ram it down people's throats. You can just provide the information. There's so many documentaries out there now, Dominion being one of them, and get people to just watch the footage and make the connection themselves.
Yeah, and it's all different forms, and I don't think we should like really make such a small funnel, I guess. Being a vegan activist could also mean posting an Instagram story and hashtagging plant-based or hashtagging all
Yep.
vegan baby. And that person might think,
Yeah.
there's someone watching, it's like, what the hell? That looks great. That looks amazing. It's
Yeah.
not a leaf. Like, what is this burger or the impossible burger that's now coming out? It's so fascinating. All these different ways you could really be an activist, not just being out on the streets or doing rescues or vigils or all these different categories. It's doing
Yeah.
what is good for you and using your platform for a
That's it. Like what I always say to people, do whatever you're comfortable with doing. Obviously, step out of your comfort zone, which is great for growing and things like that. But like even just wearing a t-shirt, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Or getting a tattoo that says vegan, or whatever it is. Like you don't have to go into slaughterhouses and film, animals being killed. Like that shit's horrific. Like I don't suggest that to anyone really, because it's really traumatizing stuff. But you can cook recipes online and hashtag plant-based, or you can literally anything. Like if you're an artist, you can draw a picture of a cow and you know put "not your mum, not your milk," or just put a
yeah,
cow there, and people might make the connection through that way. Like you never know what's going to click for someone. It could be just a conversation that you have with a family or friend member, and that helps them make the connection.
yeah. And the important thing to realize, I think, and I heard it once, maybe on Instagram, but the thing that it sucks and is also good at the same time is you plant the seed, although you'll never maybe see that seed sprout, which is the most
Yeah.
frustrating thing. But you just have to inherently know that you're doing the right thing. And sprouting is a
Yep.
whole other, it could take months, could take years. Like bamboo, is it bamboo? It takes 3 years to just break the soil. And then after about 8 weeks, it's 5 meters tall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah, it's crazy.
really, it's crazy. Like stuff works in so different ways. And obviously everyone's individual. So that
Yeah.
really kicks that off.
Yeah.
But I wanted to
Yeah, like you
touch.
don't realize, like, you might have a conversation with someone on the street, or a family friend member, whatever, and that one conversation might they it's called like a point system. Like to get to 100 points, that's when you go vegan, and someone might be at 90 points, and
Mm,
they've watched slaughterhouse footage or whatever, and then that one conversation ticks them over the edge. And so it could be anything that even if you're just helping them slowly cut out, whether it's eggs or dairy or chicken, whatever it is. Like I always say, the end goal is for you to be vegan. But if they're making choices towards that step, because that's what I did as well. I didn't go vegan overnight, but if someone turned around to me and they're like, "No, you have to go 100% vegan or fuck off," then who knows, man? I might not have even been vegan, and I might not have done all the activism work that I've done now. So,
I
I
find that so fascinating to hear from you specifically because you're this person who everyone assumes is so um like down the throat kind of thing. Because people who can't see the video or doesn't know Dim's Instagram, you've got tats faced to, is it to toe or what is, and you've got vegan written across your stomach. Do you
yeah, am I allowed to
find,
show the viewers or?
go show. So people
Yeah, if you
jump
want
on
to have a
YouTube
look.
to see that. Look at that vegan.
There
Like
you
it
go.
is such a beautiful piece of art. How long did that even take?
So I did a fundraiser. So three of my mates in the UK, they tattooed me at the same time for a day. And they
Wow.
did my entire stomach and chest. It's terrific. It's probably the worst pain I've ever been in my life by
Really?
far. Yeah.
Did
But
did
you
you
know,
raise
I
much?
yeah, I think we raised about, I think it was about a grand. But
Wow, that's great.
spreading. Yeah, but what happened was, doing that fundraiser allowed me to get the funds to then get the machines and get the stencils and everything now. And, from that, um, fundraiser, I've made, maybe 4,000 stencils now, and I've sent them out to maybe 35, 40 countries. So it kind of, snowballed, the organization, and started it off that way.
That's really awesome. And I want to give this question to you specifically because you've got this vegan across your stomach, and a lot of us, it's kind of troubling. Sometimes it can be totally positive to be part of a community and a culture, but you've now
Yeah.
associated, your being almost in a way, your structure in society as a vegan. Do you ever find that like quite negative or daunting?
Yeah, like I think for me, the word vegan is non-violence to animals, yeah, and to reduce your amount of suffering as you can. But for me, I look at humans like humans are animals as well, and so it becomes non-violence to all beings, and that's why I put it on me. That's what that means to me: non-violence in my words, non-violence in my actions, and I attempt by doing so much meditation, non-violence in my thoughts as well. And for other people, vegan might be militant, vegan extremist, whatever, but that's not my definition of it. That's why I got vegan tattooed on me, because it just means non-violence. And what better way to live your life than to not cause harm to others? But yeah, I've seen a lot of like obviously negative stereotypes, because the media push a lot of vegans are extremists and militant, and whatever they're trying to push. And a lot of people just don't like change, man. And that's the sad reality of it. A lot of people won't change until majority of the world's vegan. I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow, but that's just the reality of it. So I've had people comment before like, "Oh, what the fuck? Like that said vegan? I thought it said Vegas." I was like, "Nah, vegan." And then it
Vegas.
it starts a yeah, but then it starts a conversation that I got vegan. Oh, like why'd you do that? Or they question like, damn, like that guy's serious about that vegan thing. I wonder why he is. And then we get
Mm.
into the conversation, and it's helped a lot of people go vegan. It's gotten me a few like free vegan burgers and stuff as well, which
Really?
is
Oh, I'll take it.
yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the free
How do
burgers for
you
sure.
you mentioned in there that you've disassociated the militant stereotype from when other people like, oh, vegan is A, big and C to them. How did you,
Yeah.
because at the beginning it's not easy to disassociate yourself. You think people you become vegan, so you have to fit in this box. How do you then see that and disassociate that and be like, I am me vegan, not you vegan, me vegan?
Yeah, it's like, well, everyone has a choice in life, and for me it's like yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, I do my own thing. If you haven't noticed, like I don't look like a normal person that you'd see in society. I do my own thing, and if people want to believe, people will believe whatever they want. Do you know what I mean? And so whether it's veganism, whether it's anything in the world, it doesn't matter what I say or do. Like they're gonna have their own opinion of me. I got it for me. It's easy for me to dissociate with what other people think it is and what it is. But the definition of vegan just means to cause the least amount of suffering as you can. That's practical. Do you know what I mean? But just for animals. But I see a lot of vegans causing trouble between themselves, and being rude to each other as well. And for me,
Mm,
that's not vegan. Like, but they might say, oh, but it's just about animals, veganism. But I think that we're animals as well, so
mm.
we should be kind to each other. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think what you touched on is really cool. And I read it in I think it was The Master of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz, is like this South American, like shaman, and he says something really interesting, which I think is really important to understand, to disassociate that as well. It's like first you have yourself, you have your inner thoughts and your inner beliefs about yourself, then the outer presence that you want to portray to other people, like confidence and love, and that might not totally be the same all the time, but you want it to ideally be aligned. And then you have so I meet you, Dim, and then you've got your inner being, who you are inside, and then who you want to
Yeah,
portray yourself to the outside world. And then I've got my concept of who you are, and then you've got your concept of who I am. So now we've
yeah,
got two people, but we've got six personalities. So I
yeah,
think to disassociate that, you just have to understand that this person's thoughts of you is their presumption but it's not
Yeah, that's
truth. And
their business.
that's their
Yeah,
business,
that's
and you
their
can't change
business.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Like people are gonna say do whatever they want behind your back, even like to other people. And if it's not to you, dude, it's not your business. That's just a gift. Think of it as a gift. Like if they're handing you a shit gift, are you gonna accept a shit gift? It's like, no, you keep that. Keep that hate, keep the negativity. That's not for me. Like that's how I get through life. Like you're gonna get quite a bit of criticism. Like if you're gonna do activism, like, people are gonna criticize what you're doing, or me having vegan on my stomach, like that's me now. Like the tattoos on my body, it just becomes more you than you, I guess. Like because your cells, they don't last longer than what, 7 years, like any cell in your body. And that the vegan tattoo, I've got that there for life now. So it's just like cements like, what I'm passionate about in my life. And yeah, people can think whatever they want about it, but it means nothing to me.
That's so cool. I think we should all definitely take a page from that book. Now, jumping page a little bit to talk about what we're currently going through, which is COVID-19. There's a lot of posts out there, and I know Nat, I forgot his name on Facebook, and a lot of these big social influencers are posting a lot about where this COVID came from. A lot of them are pushing this. It came from animal agriculture agenda, which is amazing, I think. Do you think that
Yeah.
COVID, I mean, in the big picture, is potentially like a good thing for the future of animal agriculture being and us being more aware of where these diseases and viruses come from?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think if it did, like, I've got no idea. I'm skeptical about everything in life, but if it did come from animal agriculture, that's a massive thing that we can use at our advantage. It's quite simple. If we weren't eating animals, we wouldn't even have COVID-19 if it did come from that. But even the deaths, like, even if people don't believe that it came from eating bats or whatever they're saying it's coming from the wet markets, you
Mm,
just need to look at the stats and you can look at the numbers. Okay, this many people or this percentage of the population, what's less than 1% are going to die from COVID-19 if they become positive.
mhm,
But I think it's like half of the world is, well, 50% or probably a little bit less are going to die from heart disease. And
mm,
the only diet to reverse heart disease is a whole food plant-based diet. So
mm.
you can throw this information out to people, and that's a form of activism. Like, if you're talking about COVID, which everyone is at the moment,
Yeah,
you can bring up and show, okay, yeah, it's really bad. People are dying from this, but majority of people are dying from eating animals. And I think that we can use that to our advantage for sure, and just show that a lot of these diseases are coming from animal agriculture. Instead of just blaming China and oh, it's the Chinese that are doing this. It's like, no, it's humans eating animals that's probably
true.
caused all of this.
I had a huge rant, I think, when this
Yeah,
first kicked off with people saying it was a Chinese problem. Like, no, man, it's a
yeah,
human problem. Like, that's like
yeah,
saying starvation is an African problem. Like, no,
yeah,
it's a human problem. Like,
exactly.
we need to
Yeah,
take responsibility because the crops that we're feeding these animals could eradicate starvation. We need to take responsibility, and I think
yeah,
COVID is a really good starting point, especially as a conversation like what you mentioned. And in terms of like activism, and you mentioned sharing the stats that 50% or whatever the heart disease rates are with animals, do you reckon the what do you reckon the direction that activism will take in the next month, year, or 10 years? Where's like the next? Trying to formulate a question here in my head that's eluding me. The animal rights movement is going quick enough. Essentially, is my question.
do I think that if it's
Mm,
going quick enough?
yeah,
Yeah, I think it is growing, but there is obviously, with any movement, there's infighting. And I think that if we all, like, it is good on paper to say, hey, we can all work together and we can spread a vegan message together. But I don't think, especially after this COVID thing where we've got social distancing and the numbers are limited at events, so we can't have massive marches of, we had 3,000 people march through the city in Melbourne for the Dominion March,
be
10,000
fun.
in London, 20,000 in Israel. So the movement is growing. It's becoming massive. But the issue with COVID now is, we're limited in what we can do, but there's other creative ways that we can spread a vegan message. People are at home now, and they're glued to their phones. They're constantly scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, um, post vegan things on there to spread a vegan message. We're going to have to get creative with how we spread a vegan message, and I think it'll change that. The street activism, will be less. Less people allowed at vigils and things like that. So we're going to have to formulate different ways of spreading this message. Yeah.
What activism work are you currently doing?
I'm making stencils, man. Every day I'm pumping out these stencils. I'm giving out free stencils at the moment. I'll show your viewers. It says here, eating animals kills more humans through heart disease than COVID-19. So
And
I've got this stencil.
watchdominion.com.
Yeah, watchdominion.com. And I'm giving them out for free. So if people want to go to sacredscribble.com, there's a contact section there, and they can just tell me that they want a stencil, and I'll send it out to any country in the world. If your country is accepting mail at the moment.
And
So yeah.
you put that on footpaths, on fences. Where exactly are you putting that?
Yeah, so people, I don't know if you can see in the background there,
Yeah.
I've got a YouTube Dominion. So you can make posters with the stencils. There are a lot of graffiti alleyways all around the world. People can go down these alleyways and spray paint, a message. I went down a graffiti alleyway down Hosier Lane.
Yep.
If you live in Melbourne, go and check it out. You'll see this stencil there. People, I've seen that there for over 4 or 5 months now. And thousands of people walk down that alleyway. So yeah, you
Take
can use them for
photos of
street.
it as well. It's a
Exactly.
huge photo
Yeah.
landmark.
Yeah. So what was that guy's name? I can't remember. His famous singer went down there, did a show, stencils all over the place. So there's opportunities where you can really spread the message to a massive audience. But yeah, you can do street art. You can use them to make posters. I've seen people putting them on clothing, so you can just spray paint onto clothing or use certain paints. You can make artwork with them pretty much anywhere, wherever you want that message. On the website, there's a few different designs that people can choose from, but you can make artwork as well. Like I've made a picture frame, and I've put like vegan messages on it as well using the stencils. So possibilities are endless.
That's so
Um,
cool. And I think we
yeah.
touched on it a bit earlier, but is that like, how can someone start being an activist? Is it's really in your eyes just putting any message out there that counts, really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it comes in all different forms. I've made a website called sacredscribble.com, and on the website, there's a section that says "Be active," and there's like 20 different forms of activism that I've put there that people can get involved with.
Oh,
Whether it's
perfect.
chalking, like you can chalk vegan messages on the ground. I've got a section there for clothing, for stickers, literally whatever I could think of. Making recipes, all sorts of stuff. So if people go to the website, they can find something that they're interested in. But my best advice I can give people is choose something that you're really passionate about or you enjoy doing, and then spread the vegan message through that way. Whether it's you're an artist or you're a singer, you could write a song, because that way you will make it a long-term thing, and you don't want it to feel shit. You don't want to feel like it's a chore, like you're going to work every day and you're doing something that you don't enjoy doing. Like I love artwork. And so that's why I focus my attention on making stencils, because it's a form of art. So that's the best advice I can give people where to start off with. But as simple as, posting a recipe online and putting some hashtags like plant-based or vegan food, or, it's that simple.
Yeah, and I want to talk a bit about actually directly communicating with people. So I know we started doing activism when AEV first launched, and then AAC on the streets. And I
Yeah.
noticed when you're talking to people, and I notice it online as well. And I'm not trying to say you're perfect or I'm perfect or anyone's perfect, but you're very calm, collected, generally. Um,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, it's a really frustrating topic, especially when we're dealing with ignorance of people and maybe them being quite aggressive, or both feeding off each other. How can someone learn to take a patient step back and understand where that person's coming from so they can communicate the vegan message clearly?
Yeah, I think one, learn your stuff, like learn the excuses that people use all the time, and then have an answer. You'll soon learn, that you'll have an answer for most objections that people have. But like you've got to understand that we weren't vegan our entire life. Most of us had really shit excuses. Most of us hurt animals. You know what I mean? A lot of people go fishing, and we did all these things before we were vegan. And so I'm super patient and understanding when I speak with people, because I ate more animals than anyone that I knew for years, for like 22 or 23 years of my life. So how can I judge someone that I've randomly met on the street and they're coming up with the same shitty excuse that I had? And I'm chill with them and I'm patient with them because, and I might have a laugh with them because I think humor goes a long way. But my best advice is like connect with that person. Like they're not going to listen to you and take your advice or even listen to the resources that you're giving them if you're not on the vibe with them. Like you've got to vibe with the person and you've got to be patient and understanding. And I think the meditations definitely helped me with that, to just observe more and react less.
I was gonna touch on the meditation straight after this, but I wanted to add, if someone's your first point of learning your stuff, Earthling Ed actually has an amazing video out, which is like the top 10 excuses with veganism. And he breaks them
Yeah,
down really well. So if you could watch that video and repeat and really just learn, you don't have to learn all the stats. Like you don't learn all the nutrition things and you
no.
outsource. You're like, hey, I don't know this. Go watch Dr. Gregor or whatever it is, because he's been in the field for he's a fossil now. It's like 100 years old. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And really outsource. But on the topic of meditation, how like your meditation has really helped you be patient, and do you think, well, how does someone even start with because meditation's hard. Let's be honest. It's
Yeah, dude, it's like anything that you start in life. Like getting
mm,
the ball rolling is like painful. It's really tough. But I recommend there's an app that you can get called Insight Timer. I use Insight Timer every day. And so what it is an app that you can use. It's completely free, and there's thousands of guided meditations on there. So they have keywords on there as well. So if you're stressed, you click stress. If you need help sleeping, you click sleep. If you're if you're depressed, there's one for everything, whatever you need on there. So, and they have meditations that go from 0 to 5 minutes, and then 5 to 10 minutes, and they go longer. So, my best recommendation I can give people is to get that app, Insight Timer, or there's another app called Headspace, and start small. 5 minutes. Everyone has 5 minutes spare time. Everyone says, "Oh, I got no time for meditation." Set your alarm 5 minutes early and get that shit done. Just every day, just be consistent with it.
oh, for sure.
And the
And it
key
should
to
be a way.
success with meditation.
It
Yeah,
should
go,
be a
sorry?
wake up call. If you don't have 5 minutes in your day, you need to reassess, man. Like if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't have 5 minutes in your 24-hour block that you have every day, every week, every year of your life, you need a. But what kind of, I guess people just don't value it. That's really what it comes down to.
yeah,
I everyone knows, if you ask someone to list what they think they should be doing but they don't do, it's like cold showers, exercise more, meditate,
yeah.
eat healthy, plant-based, eat more fruits, eat more vegetables, stop eating junk, but people don't value it. So what are some things that you've found very valuable to what meditation has taught you?
Yeah, like meditation's taught me honesty. It's taught me patience. It's focused my mind on like getting shit done, to be completely honest. Like before I'd make up all these excuses, and that noise in your head, that noise that says you're not good enough, don't do it tomorrow, blah blah blah. Don't have that cold shower, don't turn that fucking hot water off because you're gonna freeze, it's gonna be painful. With the meditation, you can quiet that shit down. That's like you can get rid of that and you can focus. Okay, this is where I know I need to do this. Yes, it's going to be painful, but it just makes you stronger. It makes you be like you can do stuff that you thought you couldn't do before. But the meditation, it's like a workout, but for your mind. Like everyone goes to the gym and they work out and they want to become really strong, but when you meditate, it's like a workout, man, and like you can really push the limits, whether it's running, or whether it's doing a sport, or whether it's drawing. It makes you more creative. It's like an upgrade to the system. Instead of being lazy all the time, it improves your life in every way. And that's why I recommend it to everyone. Yeah, the veganism thing like got me, it gets you on a level, but the meditation just helps you make better decisions in your life, and it will improve your life 100%. I haven't met someone that meditates consistently and it hasn't changed their life. So
What do
yeah,
you, when someone starts
yeah.
meditating, how long should they be doing it before they start to feel some changes, whether it's inherently their thoughts, their body, they feel more alert? How what would you say is like the time frame to stick to?
Yeah. everyone's different. As shit as that answer is, it's like everyone's going to be different. Like I've done meditations, and straight away when you open your eyes, you're like, whoa, like I'd let something go. Like you feel so much lighter, you feel so much more positive. People just starting off, you can feel the benefits straight away for something, some meditations, because you might take, close your eyes, cross-legged, have your back straight. That's my biggest recommendation to people is like sit on a cushion or something that's going to prop your bum up higher than your knees, so that you don't injure your back, and keep your back straight and focus on your breath. That's the simplest meditation that I can tell people is just focus on your breath, just your natural breath. Don't try and change it or anything. And maybe have like 3 deep breaths to start off with, just to quiet your mind and get yourself in that headspace. But put your phone away, put everything away, turn it all off just for 5 minutes, and just give yourself that time, and then be consistent with it. So every day, leave a note somewhere in your room, whether you've got a whiteboard or you set an alarm. Okay, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to get it done. And you can notice the differences straight away. It might not be huge, but let's just say you got angry 10 out of 10 times, like when someone cut you off. Now you get pissed off 7 out of 10 times. You're still getting pissed off 7 out of 10 times, but that 3 out of 10 times, that's great. You're slowly progressing, and you get better and better at it. You become more patient and things like that.
There's a lot I want to dive into, but first I want to try something different, and let's show people how easy that could be. I'm going to put a timer on for 1 minute. Dim, can you guide us for a 1 minute meditation?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to start it now. Whenever you're ready, you can guide breaths. Totally go with what works for you and see. So everyone, now if you say close your eyes, if you're driving, don't do that. Obviously, be coherent to where you are. But if you're at home, I would really encourage you to actually drop what you're doing right now, because it is only going to be 1 minute. I'm going to put a timer on it. And then as soon as Dim stops talking, I'm just going to say the minute's up, and just see how that feels for you. So whenever you're ready, Dim.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll just guide the first part of this meditation, and then the rest of it I'll just be completely silent and just let you focus on your own breath. So sitting cross-legged on the floor, or you can lie on your back with your back straight and close your eyes. Now what I want you to do is to focus on the breath going in and out of your nose. So take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Now go to your natural breath. So don't try and change your breath. Just go to your natural breath coming in and out of your nostrils. Now, naturally, we're going to want to think of, I've got to do this, got to do that. What have I got to do after this meditation? Oh, I forgot to do this, I'm hungry. These thoughts are naturally going to come up, but when you find them coming up, just see them as clouds. They're coming and they're going. And then you go back to your breath. You inhale and exhale. And you keep going through that process.
All right, that was 1 minute, just over 1 minute and 5 seconds. And what you'll notice is, I totally agree with you, Dim. You start thinking about what you're going to do in that day, and that 1 minute for you just to focus on your breath is automatically going to make you feel better. So thank you for guiding that, Dim. And that was literally 1 minute.
It's 1 minute.
Was
Start off with
one
1 minute. You know how I said 5 minutes? Oh, do 5 minutes. If you think that you don't have 5 minutes, do 1 minute.
one
That's
minute.
all you're doing. Think of your thoughts as clouds coming, like passing in the sky. Don't judge yourself for, like I've been in meditation retreats and they say focus on your breath. And 20 minutes has gone by and I've gone down this rabbit hole of thought after thought after thought after thought. And then I was like, oh shit, I was meant to be thinking about my breath. Like, don't be hard on yourself, but you'll notice that the gaps between, you focusing on your breath and then thinking of all these other random things, you'll be able to focus on your breath for a longer period of time. And that's the progress. When you feel, okay, I can breathe in and out and I didn't think of anything for an entire minute, that's you progressing. Because before you inhaled and exhaled and then your mind went off somewhere else for ages. So it's about bringing it back to your breath and extending that period of time. But Some people might find that really boring. Oh, just I don't want to focus on my breath. Get a guided meditation on. I'm shit at giving like guided meditations. I never do it. I never guide people through meditations, but there are plenty of like really, really good guided meditations that you can get off Insight Timer and check them out. Like you might vibe with the woman's voice or a male's voice, or and you'll find something that you like. Listen to it every morning, and it'll change your day. There's some that have about gratitude. There's gratitude meditations and things like that, and that'll change a day. It changes the outlook on life as well.
Absolutely. And a few things I want to touch on is especially with breath. There was this Japanese study that came out just 2 years ago that focused, because Japan's this place where it is honorable to die at your desk because you overwork, and they have the highest rate of suicide in the world and per capita. And they found that just taking 7 intentional breaths considerably drops your blood pressure, which inherently
Yeah,
drops your stress. So, and it's more than just being boring, it's being intentional with your breaths, dropping that blood pressure. And when it comes to like building habits, which is the hardest thing, one meditation doesn't help. But when you do one
yeah,
meditation 10 days in a row, that's a huge difference. And, we said 1 minute, but a really cool thing I learned from Atomic Habits by James Clear, amazing book. He says, start with 10 seconds. That's a joke. 10 seconds. And then every day, just double it. 20, and it takes a
yeah,
week before you're up to what? 1, 2, 3 minutes. And then you start at 10 seconds and now you're at this whole new level of being
yeah,
present. And try different
yeah.
times of the day. You might not be a morning person because you might be really anxious in the morning. Try it at night, try it midday. And then you can build that practice into your day. It could be in between work during your lunch break. And there's always 1 minute, and it's so easy to find.
That's it. Like you can find that time. If you're sitting and you're waiting for a bus, or you're on the train or something, and you're like, "Oh, fucking, I need to wait 20 minutes. I just missed the train." Dude, I love those moments. Before, like if I missed a
What
train
a
and it's like,
perspective shift.
"Fuck."
First off, what a perspective shift.
Yeah, dude, it's the game changer. Like, instead of being like, "Fuck, I just missed the train, like 20 minutes, I need to sit here now," and like, dude, 20 minutes of meditation, just sit on the seat, close your eyes, listen to the sounds that are going on around you. It'll help you be present, and you're not stressed out that you've just missed a train or whatever it is. Like, you can find time. Everyone has time. I don't believe that. It's a bullshit excuse, but it's the excuse that we tell ourselves just to, as an excuse to not want to try meditation or do anything really in life. But you can find that time. Start off small and then progress. In the meditation retreats I do, they make you meditate for 10 hours a day, and you
I
do
do want
that
to
for
touch
10
on that. Can we
days.
talk about this retreat? Because I was gonna do
Yeah.
one a few years ago, but then I ended up going to like a Tasmania trip with a few other vegan friends.
Yeah.
But can you touch on what exactly a meditation retreat? So it's a silence retreat, isn't?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you don't talk for 10 days. There's no eye contact because they say that that's a form of communication as well. But you wake up at the gong goes at 4 a.m. and there's another gong that goes at 4:20, and you end up meditating for about 10 hours during the day. There are some breaks during the day, but you don't talk the whole time, and you learn this technique. It's called Vipassana, which means to observe.
mm,
And so all you do in that 10 days is you're observing physical sensations that happen on your body. And what it teaches you to not react to those sensations, whether they're pleasurable or whether they're unpleasurable. And it helps you, uh, I guess, get rid of all the things that you've held on to, and it helps purify your mind to see things how they really are, not how you want them to be. And I've done 6 of the courses now, like in Australia and overseas as well. And it's the same technique. It's a technique that Buddha taught 2,500 years ago. But you don't have to be Buddhist to do this technique. It's non-sectarian. So if you have a breath, you can do this meditation, and it's helped hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people around the world. Um, I tell every single person that I've met to go and do it. Give it a shot. It's hard. It's really really difficult, but it'll just help you get your shit together. It's like getting rid of all the viruses in your computer. Whatever analogy you need to to motivate you to go and do it. Once this COVID thing settles down, book yourself into a Vipassana course. They're all over the world. If you just Google Vipassana, you'll be able to find it. But
and
yeah, they
this is to
yeah, go.
clarify that this is no masturbation. This is no phone. This is no talking. No eye contact. You're just sitting on a pillow and you can't scratch yourself if you have a sensation. This is like the level we're talking.
Yeah, so you can at the start, like the first 3 days or so, you're focusing just on your breath. So you're doing it's called anapana, where you just sit there and you focus on your breath. The first 3 days, like they feel like they're going forever. But then on day 4, they teach you Vipassana, where you start at the top of your head and you feel physical sensations on your body, and then you slowly progress going down. By day 7, day 8, you can feel like free flow of energy, which is like subtle vibrations tingling like all over your body. But this is happening right now for everyone. There's a subtle flow of energy through all of our bodies, but we're just too distracted with things, and our mind isn't sharp enough to experience those subtle sensations in our body. But when you focus on your breath for 3 days straight, it sharpens your mind, and it allows you to go to the other island where you can tap into these subtle sensations. And that's where the magic happens, because everywhere in life we always react to things. Like, we're not addicted to drugs or alcohol and things like that. We're addicted to the sensation that it gives our body. And so we react to that sensation, that physical sensation that happens. So in the practice of Vipassana, when you just observe the sensations and you don't react to them, it it rewires your brain to stop reacting to the drugs and the alcohol or the sex or whatever you were addicted to before, and you can just observe it, and it starts purifying your mind. Whether it's things that you suffer from because you avoid them, like pain or whatever it is. And yeah, it changes everything, man. And all the meals in there are vegetarian or vegan, so
What kind
you
of
can
is
do the
this, like
course.
Indian based meals like curries and things like that?
Depends where you do the course. Like, I did the course in Nepal, and there was curries and stuff like that even for breakfast. And but then I
Mhm.
went to Australia and they had Vegemite and toast. So they
Of course.
customize it. Yeah, yeah, of course. So they customize it so that, people are feeling comfortable, like, wherever they do it. They kind of put their own culture
Mm.
in the food, but the food's incredible. Like, it doesn't matter. I've done one in Indonesia as well. Food was amazing. All vegan. The one in Melbourne, they serve some dairy, which I've had some words to them about it, but people are stuck in their ways, regardless of whether it's a meditation course or whatever. But don't let that stop you from doing the course. Like, it's like having a meal that you think it's delicious, and there's one ingredient in there. You're not going to throw the entire meal out. You'll just pick the ingredient out that you don't like, and that's
Mm.
kind of what Vipassana for me is as well. Like, yeah, they serve some dairy in some courses, but I look past that and just you focus on the meditation that they're teaching, because the practice is life changing. It really is.
And from when I remember chatting, I remember chatting to you about this on a train, um, and this
Yeah.
is donation based, isn't it? Or you can donate your time or money. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So you it doesn't cost you anything to do the course. The course is run only off donations from old students. So if you do the course for, say, 7 days, and you're just like, fuck this, I can't do it anymore, and you end up leaving, and you want to give money for the food and the services that you've had there, they won't accept your money. You have to finish the entire course, and you donate whatever you can. And if you can't donate any money, and you just don't have the cash to do it, you can volunteer. You can help cook, you can help with the gardening there. It's all run off donations. And for me, that's what really caught my eye. Like, I've seen a lot of meditation retreats or yoga retreats, and they charge thousands of dollars for a week or 2 weeks, and that really put me off. But with Vipassana, it's purely run off donations, which, yeah, it just seems pure to me. It seems like people aren't just trying to make money off this thing.
More of like a community, and
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think there's anything wrong with charging money if that's what it takes to get the circle going. But they've
Yeah.
clearly set up a different circle where there's a really good system of volunteers, and that's really cool how they've set the barrier of entry so low because everyone's got time, really.
We have time. We can make time. I guess, like, people have life commitments and stuff, like they got kids and things like that, but you can make it happen. People, work out a way how you can free up 10 days in your life, and I promise you it'll probably be the hardest 10 days of your life, but you come out of that a changed person. You're
Mm.
so motivated. Like, I met this dude in one of my courses. He was about a 50-year-old guy, never done meditation in his life. I felt sorry for him because, like, I could see him the whole time. His back was aching, but he came out of that and he's like, "Dude, I've been holding on to some shit for 40 years. And he's like, I finally let it go. And like, when you see a Russian dude like smile like that, big Russian guy, like, mate, it like warms your heart. It really does. So it's just like anyone can change doing these courses, and you don't realize that you might be holding on to some resentment or whatever for years and years. And it's like, you do one of these courses in 10 days and you can get rid of it. Why
Mm,
wouldn't you do it?
absolutely. Like this 10-day sacrifice is really um, giving you years of your life back, years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to touch on real quick with the apps as well. You mentioned Insight Timer. Is that?
Insight Timer. So INSIGHT
Mhm.
Timer. Insight Timer.
And
And the other, um, yeah, go.
you mentioned as well, like it depends if you're like a guy or a girl. And I totally believe in testing different apps. I've literally paid $140 for Calm before, and that didn't work. And I was fine losing that investment. That's fine. It didn't vibe for me. At the moment I'm using Center, which Chris Hemsworth's app for meditation. Not a huge
Yeah.
fan, but try different things. The best one I've ever tried, if someone wants to try, is Sam Harris. He's an incredible meditation teacher, I think, based in North
He's great,
America.
man.
Oh, he's so good. And his app is 110 Aussie dollars, I think. But day 5 when I was doing his free trial, and all these apps have free trials, by the way. So do not stray away from them. Try like Calm has like a 1 month one, I think. Sam Harris has like a 7 or 5 day one. And by day 5, I literally felt buzzing after the
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah.
And it comes back to when we're talking, does it take a day? Does it take a week? I don't know. For me, the first 3 days, I felt mindful like you always do, but day 4 and 5 was buzzing like a freaking bee.
Yeah.
I'd recommend everyone trying a host of different apps.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
really good guided meditation by Joe Dispenza.
I
Joe
love Joe
and then
Dispenza.
D Yeah, yeah, Joe Dispenza. He has a guided meditation. I think he charges like $5 for it or $6 for this guided meditation.
Mhm.
So it's a game changer. It's like get onto it. Like there's a book that he's got called You Are the Placebo,
Mm,
which is an amazing book. And
yeah,
yeah, he has a guided meditation on it at the end of the book. But yeah, you can just download it, and it's incredible. You'll buzz from that. It's a natural high. Like
it is.
everyone chases all these drugs and alcohol and stuff, but you can get high off your own supply, man. I think Wim Hof says that get
I
high
love
off your
Wim
own.
Hof. Do you use Wim Hof's methods, usually like the breathing and stuff?
Yeah, the breathing exercises, the cold showers every day without fail. When you have, if people listening now, when you have a shower, have your warm shower, enjoy your time, and then the last 30 seconds, turn off that hot water and just deep breathing. Like you're gonna, especially during the winter time, like you're gonna
Sure.
start. It's gonna feel like you're choking. Like you can't even breathe. It's that cold, but you get used to it. And when you turn off that cold water, you're not even cold anymore. You're buzzing. Like it gives you some crazy energy, and you're good. It wakes you up at the start of the day. I recommend it to
Totally.
everyone. It's
Oh,
great.
absolutely. And especially if you're, someone who's interested in health, and vegan generally, our body's a temple, and we love that whole concept of being good to our body because our body is then good to us. Definitely look into
Yeah.
all these Wim Hof method and the, meditation and yoga, which we'll touch on soon. But with the Wim Hof method, I've been following them for years, and I used to do ice baths. Have you tried ice baths?
I haven't done an
Amazing.
ice bath before, but I've done like just cold water, and that's enough, man. That kills me.
I used to
Hats off
do
to you for doing the ice bath.
I used to do them once every 2 weeks for 2 months or 3 months. I did it in a row, and I used to get just 3 bags from like the service station and chuck it in a
Yeah.
bathtub and 15-minute timer, and you walk out and you're just red from neck, like bright red, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
'Cause he says it's true because sometimes you hear this crazy loopy stuff and you're like, no freaking way. Like you start buzzing from meditation, and you're like, no freaking way. And I hope that for a lot of people, they're like, no freaking way. And they're like, I'll test it. I want to see if it's real. And then they go and see it like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
he was talking like legit. So when you're in there after 5 minutes, you can stay in for ages because firstly, you can't feel anything anymore. But I
Yeah.
found it really interesting at minute like 13, 14, my whole body's just like you can't control. It's like having spasms. It's so interesting. And
Yeah.
cold showers as well. I've been having them for a few months. No warm shower. Actually, I let myself have a warm shower on Sunday, but I start it and finish it all cold.
Good on you. Good on you. You deserve it, mate.
No, but it's good in another respect. I can't have long showers in there. You can only be so long in the cold shower.
Yeah, when I finish the cold showers, I don't feel cold. Like my
Bang on.
body temperature feels colder. Like I don't know, outside feels warm. It's not
Mm,
cold anymore. Usually if I have a warm shower and then I don't do the cold water afterwards and you turn the tap off, you're like, fuck, where's the towel? Like I
Yeah,
need,
get
I'm
me out of here.
freezing. Yeah, you don't have that. You don't have that with the cold shower at the end.
No, it's definitely good for your health. Now let's touch on yoga as one of our last topics.
Sure.
What do you think about yoga?
yoga just Yoga's incredible, man. It's meditation, but it's movement.
Mhm.
That's how I see it
That's a nice
anyway.
way to think of it.
Yeah, it's oh mate, I keep saying it's like it's a game changer. It helps you so much. Like you're focusing on your breath. So the people that have tried meditation before and you focus on your breath and you find it really difficult to concentrate, you're focusing on your breath in yoga as well, but you're moving, and because your body's stretching and you can feel, physical sensations, I feel that it helps you focus your mind on your breath easier. And what it does is, you might do certain postures and it stops the blood flow to that area. And then when you release and you do another posture, the blood rushes down to that area. So it gets rid of all the toxins in your body and it flushes everything. It gets everything moving. And when your body is flexible and you're doing these asanas, these postures, your life just becomes so much more. It's just easier, more positive as well. You'll never find after a yoga session, you won't see people angry and sad in the studio. It's impossible. Everyone's got a massive smile on their face.
Mm.
They're super humble. There's this community involved in it. And I recommend people that haven't tried before, give it a shot. Go on YouTube and just type in yoga for beginners and give it a whirl. A lot of these yoga studios as well, they have a free, startup or trial. It might be $20 or for the first month, or they might give you your first session for free, and give it a shot and see if you like it. And if you don't, keep trying it. Just keep
Keep
trying it for a
trying it.
little bit, and I'm sure that something will tick. Have you been doing yoga yourself recently,
Yeah,
or?
I've been doing yoga. At the moment, I'm training for a marathon. And I know with a lot of runners, yoga is so important because stretching increases strength. I used to do yoga. I signed up to like a wellness center and I did 5 a.m. yoga sessions. So to get up at 4:30, drive. And I did it for
Yeah,
maybe half a year, like huge commitment, almost every day for half a year. And the worst thing for me was when I stopped. Oh my gosh, was it a huge
yeah.
pain? I was sitting at home and my legs were aching. They needed a stretch.
Yeah.
So you don't know how much you need yoga until you've done it and then stopped.
So, yeah, that's a good way of putting it, and it's true as well. Like I've still been doing yoga here and there, but because I was going to a studio and I was doing like 3 hours a day, I was addicted to that.
Frick, that is
Yeah,
so
I'd
much.
wake up, like I'd drag myself out of bed for, I think it was a 6 a.m. start. And I'd drag myself out of bed. I'd be lying on my yoga mat and I'd fall asleep on my yoga mat. And then I'd wake up to the yoga
Yep.
teacher saying, everyone's sitting up or standing up, whatever. And I'll look around, it's like, how the fuck did I get here? Am I dreaming? And then you do the
Yeah.
class and you're buzzing. And I was addicted to it. I was doing,
Mm.
I'd
Oh
do the
my God.
morning class, and
Yeah.
then at night time I'd go back and do back-to-back classes, because I noticed how good it was for my mental health and how good it was for my body. Like being flexible is amazing. Life
Mm.
just having good
Oh, I could
mobility in
touch
your
my
life.
toes for the first time. It was amazing.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned studio a lot, and I look, I love YouTube because it's free, but I wholeheartedly would put all my reputation on a studio is so much better because
100%.
when you do that Vipassana at the end and you're with your breath and you might do like a bit of oming or some mantras at the end as well,
Yep.
you feel absolute euphoria. Like this
Yeah,
is
man.
like serotonin through the roof, like better than drugs. This is fully getting high on your own friggin' body and vibe.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if you've never
Like
done
I've
it,
I've taken all sorts of drugs in my time. Like when in my teenage years, like early 20s as well. Like I've taken everything, whatever you can think of. I've put it in my body. I've felt
we
euphoric.
made
I've
those
did.
stereotypes as soon as we saw your face to your whole tattered body. Of course, he's been on a
Yeah,
big journey.
yeah. I've been on a massive journey, but like I teach kids now. I'm a primary school teacher. Do you know what I mean, anyone can make
Mm,
change in their life. And now it's like I what I've the amount of euphoria I've felt, after a meditation or during a meditation, it doesn't even compare well like what drugs, you know, can make you feel. Like I'm talking like an entire body like orgasm just from sitting there focusing on your breath. Like you
Mm.
can get to those states. And in the yoga as well, I found you at the end of each class called shavasana, where you lie on your back and you relax and you let, you know,
Oh,
everything that you've
I said
done.
Vipassana before, but I meant Shavasana. Yep.
Shavasana, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Shavasana, when you're lying on your back and you're not moving, you can feel subtle vibrations all over your body. And some studios, the one that I go to, they have like Tibetan singing bowls, and they've got like massive ones, like massive bowls, and it echoes like through the room, and it sends shockwaves through your body. Like you can actually feel it when it's like, you know, it's doing this ripple sound throughout the room. You can feel that in your body, and it's like
Mm.
your body becomes in tune to those sounds. Incredible experience. And you know, for what you're paying, 20 something, I think I was paying 20 something dollars a week.
Mm.
You can't, it's worth way more than that. I'd give him 500 bucks a week. Take my money. Like, you know, you're making me feel so good. And
And as soon
yeah,
as you
can't put a
said the
price on it.
Tibetan bowl thing, I'm seeing people doubt that, and I totally understand how it sounds woo woo, but try it. You it's one of those things
Yeah,
again. You don't go in with a skeptical mind. I'm happy for you too.
yeah, yeah.
Yoga and meditation speaks for itself. We don't need to convince you. Just try it.
Yeah,
Convince yourself.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I'm the most skeptical person you'll probably ever meet. Like if I don't experience something in my life, I'm not buying it. Like I'm not, I want to try it myself. I want to see with my own eyes and experience it with my own body. And once I have experienced it and I've seen everyone else in the room and they felt the same things and we have the same experiences, then it's like, well, are we all making it up? Come on. Like that's right. Yeah, like you said, give it a shot. It might sound woo-woo with the bowls and, you know, I got these crystals and all this hippie shit.
Mm.
It's like it's not that. It's reality. Like you'll feel great after the class for
You don't
sure.
have to subscribe to any stereotype of what yoga is. It's just like what we touched on earlier in episode with being vegan. Vegan could mean a different thing to you and to me and to someone else. Yoga could mean something else for you. If you want to use it as a way to give your body a treat, do that. If you want to use it for a way to escape, don't go to the beer or to the cake, go to the yoga. So it could mean a
Yeah,
different thing to you. You might not be in
yeah,
it
for
for the
sure.
crystals or the Tibetan music bowls. You could be in it to treat your body right.
Yeah, and everyone, you know, will be in there for different reasons. Like for me, it was great for like I had PTS I've got PTSD from like all the activism that I've done over the years. And
Mm,
like I found that the yoga and the meditation has helped dramatically, like more than any like, you know, pills and things like that that people can prescribe to you.
mm,
It's definitely helped myself and, you know, many other people with, you don't even have to have like mental issues or physical issues, but people that have had injuries for years, back injuries or, you know, knee injuries or whatever it is, doing the yoga has helped them, you know, more than any other medication that you can take. And I think people really underestimate the power of yoga. They think it's maybe like the male listeners now, like, oh, I'm not doing yoga. That's a woman's thing, and you
yeah.
know, I'm not doing it because it's a hippie thing. It's like, mate, in the classes that I've been to, there's tradies in there. There's like full on blokey blokes, and they're going in there
Mm,
before they, you know, they're sparkies or they're carpenters or, you know, their dads, their teachers, their mums. Anyone can do it. I've seen children go into the classes as well,
mm.
and they all benefit. Everyone benefits from it. It's universal.
Absolutely. Don't judge. Everyone's fighting their own battles in their head, and everyone's in that class for a different reason. Everyone's
Yep,
meditating for a different reason. You know, when you meditate, you're at a train station, and the train's coming is going to be different for every person. This train might be going there for some person. This train's going to a completely different destination for another person. You cannot assume, you cannot tell. So
exactly.
definitely, I totally don't agree with stereotyping who
Yeah,
or why you should be going to a yoga
and
class.
it goes back to like even the activism stuff. Like how do you keep like be understanding and patient? Everyone's got their own shit in life, and I've been
Mm,
through some hectic stuff in my life, whether it's drugs or whether it's like the animal cruelty side that I've seen, all sorts of stuff. And it's like I can't judge someone because of their excuse, because I don't know what they're going through. They might have just gone through a breakup, or someone might have died in their family recently and they're just lashing out at whoever's in front of them. Like you don't know, everyone's gone through their own stuff. So like see it as, don't get angry at them, but you know, kind of feel sorry for them in a way and want to help and come from that compassionate point of view, because one, you're going to make more change, and two, you can help a complete stranger. And when you help someone else, then they have in their mind, fuck, like that person helped me and they didn't even know me. Then they go and do that same action. If you go and yell back at someone when someone yells at you, then you just send that ripple of just shit energy out into the world. And it's like, how are we going to change the world? And we want a more compassionate world for animals and ourselves when we're not even putting out those vibes. So if you want that in the world, you have to become that, and you have to help show people and teach people that way of living, and then they'll go and spread the compassion. It's that simple. Like it really is. But it can feel difficult at times because we react all the time, react to everything. But the meditation, the yoga helps you to be more present, step back and realize, hey, they're not attacking me. They're just, reacting to whatever they've gone through in their life. Step out of it and just try and help them in some way. But you got to pick your battles as well. Some people, they might never go vegan. That's a sad reality, but it's the truth as well. You can't help everyone, but at least help yourself so that you can get to a point where you can then help others.
That there was so many cans that were opened enough to
Sorry, man, I went on a rant.
No, I loved it. And it's definitely enough in the near future to get you back on the episode anyway, to talk about so many more things, because there's so much value that we can bring just through these episodes. But we are at the around an hour mark, so we got to finish up here. Two things. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you wanted to add?
I think the main message that I want to send out to people is just don't think that activism is you have to go on the slaughterhouses and you have to go on the streets and you got to do this stuff. Just work out what you're good at and start spreading a vegan message. Don't be shy. Like, find your voice and speak your truth. Like, we have the truth on our side. We don't need to make up any lies or anything like that. But just get it done. Just do it today. Stop saying tomorrow, because you're going to keep saying tomorrow for the next few years. Like, just get it done today and make a plan and have a goal that you're going to achieve and just get it done. Yeah.
What's next for you? Just continuing the Sacred Scribble business?
Yeah, start just continuing with this stuff. I'm flat out at the moment, man. People love free shit. So I've been sending out maybe 20 orders a day to people.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been pretty flat out for me. But yeah, if anyone's listening and they want any of these stencils, go to Sacred Scribble. There's a contact section there. Put your details down. You can get started.
I'll definitely leave all the links in
Yeah.
the description with the website. And I think there was a few more things that
Awesome.
we mentioned, like with the activism, how to get into activism, that's on your website as well. So I'll
Yeah, that's on the
definitely leave all of
website
that.
as well.
But also, while you're on that topic, where can we connect with you?
Yeah, so the Sacred Scribble Instagram is Sacred Scribble Official. That's the Instagram that I'm using for. And my personal one is Dimstagram. So DIM and then a full stop, and then STRAM, Dimstagram. You can find me there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for hopping on, and I definitely will get you back in the near future.
You're a legend, bro. Thanks for having me.
That's right. Have an absolutely amazing weekend, and stay safe. Alrighty, welcome to the end, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me this whole way. If you want to follow Dim, I'll leave all the links in my show notes, including his website, Instagram, and all of that. If you want some free stencils, please head to sacredscribble.com. As well, you can go on his Instagram, dim.stagram, which will have all of that there. But if you found this episode valuable, please consider leaving a review on iTunes or whatever app you use. It helps out a lot. Of course, it does have to be 5 stars. That is the requirement. If you are on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I will see you in a fortnight where we're going to be interviewing G, who is a spiritual leader and coach. And we'll touch a lot on spirituality and what it means to meditate and alignment and values. And it's going to be very different because we haven't touched on spirituality before, but you'll find meditation and a lot of these different terminologies used in the next episode as well. So I will see you then. Until then, please be safe and much love. Peace.